The South Today Bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
On the South today, an old wooden catamaran leaves Queenstown for the last time ahead of a journey on the high seas. Christchurch prepares to celebrate a major sporting milestone, almost half a century down the track. And success for southern sausages as butcheries celebrate winning big in a delicious competition. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. An ocean-going catamaran that almost sunk in a recent storm has left Queenstown for the final time. The old wooden boat, named the Otorohanga, has been tied up and unused for years, but will soon be setting sail for the Pacific Ocean.
The stray cat taking its final voyage across Lake Wakatipu. The Otorohanga catamaran travelling to Kingston before being taken to the ocean. The 20-metre-long Polynesian twin-hull boat was built by Queenstown Stu Rolfe, but hadn't moved from its mooring spot just off Frankton Road in over 2 decades. The large boat was recently bought by Swiss-based enthusiast Fred Altenbrook. He plans to dismantle the boat and transport it to Port Chalmers, where it'll be repaired ahead of its next trip across the Pacific Ocean.
We would live aboard and then charter, take some people into the Pacific Islands and live another lifestyle than we have now.
Ironically, the Otorohanga broke free of its mooring of 20 years in Frankton Arm just 2 weeks ago, due to wind gusts in a recent storm. The unmanned vessel sailed without a captain into the middle of Lake Wakatipu, before being rescued by the Queenstown Coast Guard and Harbour Master, who left the vessel beached at Kelvin Grove.
It's coming off the mooring. I was like, what the hell? So it was just a big surprise. I was panicked and I was like, it's going to wreck in the rocks somewhere. And luckily the Coast Guards were here.
Altenbrook says once the 10-person boat is repaired and seaworthy again, he wants to take his wife and kids across the Pacific on a family trip. After that, he plans to charter the Otorohanga out to other ocean sailors. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Dunedin City Councillors have been hearing submissions about proposed cuts to speed limits, with the controversial topic raising many voices throughout the community. The DCC wants to introduce widespread reductions in speed limits across the city, but the proposals are facing criticism from many residents. The conversations are continuing against a backdrop of uncertainty. The council's unsure what the new national government may do about speed limit proposals nationwide. During the election campaign, National said it would stop Labour's blanket speed limit reductions. Dunedin Dr Ben Nuttall spoke at the DCC hearings on Thursday from a different perspective. He supports the reduced speed proposals, saying driving slower reduces serious collisions and injuries. Public hearings continued today at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery. It's nearly 50 years since Christchurch hosted the Commonwealth Games. A big celebration is being planned and museum volunteers are working to put together a huge exhibition to mark the milestone.
Almost 50 years on, Christchurch still remembers hosting what was known as the Friendly Games. The 1974 Commonwealth Games is the last time the South Island hosted the event. Now volunteers at the New Brighton Museum are working to mark the anniversary, with a significant exhibition of memorabilia planned for next January. Museum President Wayne Hawker says a recent call out for more games items has seen exhibits arriving from all across the country.
We got cups, we got tea towels, we got teaspoons, we got medals, you name it. If it's related to the Commonwealth Games, we've got it.
Hawker says the jewel in their crown is the loan of a Holden Kingswood used by officials during the Games. He says the 1974 event, known then as the British Commonwealth Games, was a significant moment in Christchurch's history. The city welcomed more than 1,000 athletes from across 38 different countries. along with their support teams, media and international visitors.
It's significant given the location of place Chewy 2 was within the community of the Greater New Brighton region. So we think it's only right that the museum has the distinction of being able to hold such a display.
The Games became renowned for their friendly and relaxed atmosphere, which was seen as a reflection of how the city was as a host.
Watching Dick Taylor winning the 10,000 metres, and like I say, that piece of track that we now have, Dick Taylor was running along on that track.
The team are hoping to coordinate their exhibition with an official function being organised at the Christchurch Convention Centre and Town Hall. The New Brighton Museum's planning a grand opening of their Commonwealth Games anniversary display in mid-January. In Christchurch, the South today.
A brave Central Otago teenager won't be having a bad hair day this month after shaving off his locks for a good cause. Octavian Neal has been exercising some charitable spirit, raising money for two causes close to his heart.
Saying goodbye to his luscious locks and saying hello to a fresh new summer look. 13-year-old Cromwell College student Octavian Neal taking a practical step for a good cause, shaving his head this week in Alexandra. The teenager's had his fair share of health challenges and was keen to give back to the Christchurch Hospital's Child Haematology and Oncology Centre and the Paediatrics Ward at Dunedin Hospital.
Because they both helped me out in my life when I was 10 months old, had cancer, and my new condition called CIDP. Since I was 11, I've had CIDP.
Octavia's aiming to raise $1,500 for the two hospital centres. And he wasn't the only one going under the shaver at the Kahu Youth Trust building. Mother Vicky joining him and also sacrificing her long locks for charity.
Last night he was very anxious about doing it, hence is why I decided to do it at the last minute as well, knowing how anxious he was, and because he had grown it for so long and he was nervous, so it was like, to support him, I was like, it's here, it grows back.
Octavia says he's grateful for the support of his mum and dad for the challenge, but is happy to be able to give back to those who've helped him. In Alexandra, the South today.
Dunedin High School was draped in international colours yesterday as it celebrated the wide range of cultural diversity among its students. King's High School's annual cultural festival brought different parts of the world together in their Dunedin school grounds.
Watching a karate demonstration between two black belts, or lining up for some delicious Syrian flatbread. There was a strong international flavour at Dunedin's King's High School on Thursday at its annual cultural festival. Around 50 countries were being represented at the school grounds, with students making use of the extended lunch hour to experience something unique.
The world has over 3,800 diversely rich cultures, and to understand each other's cultures that is incredibly different from our own is incredibly important.
Head boy Massimo Pizzuto grew up with an Italian father and Maori mother and says he understands the importance of celebrating cultural diversity.
What started out as a small idea between 3 students grew into a cultural festival that we hope will continue for years to come at our school.
He was excited to see the range of cultures being showcased and says seeing other boys enjoy the festivities made the afternoon occasion worthwhile. In Dunedin, the South today.
Dunedin and Christchurch butcheries have proved they're a cut above the rest, taking out awards for their top saucies. The Great New Zealand Sausage Competition is capturing the attention of many meat lovers across the country, with the promotion aimed at celebrating the iconic Kiwi snag.
Creating Aotearoa's best snag is just another day at the office for these hard-working butchers. More than 100 outlets across the country have been working to craft the perfect sausage for the Great New Zealand Sausage Competition. Dunedin's Princes Street Butchery claimed a Gold Elite medal for their traditional pork sausage and also won bronze for their Spanish chorizo.
Definitely unexpected, the one we won last year I was pretty stoked on, and to go back and, not just get a gold but get a Gold Elite, I was, over the moon.
Owner David Gibson says a lot of work goes into making their sausages and says the win's a huge achievement for the whole team.
100% proud, very, very proud. Couldn't ask for more. I've got a great team here and it's good that everyone gets to celebrate success.
The Butchery team at Christchurch's Fresh Choice Leeston are also celebrating an elite award win. Their Memphis Ring of Fire pork sausage contains paprika and honey. Supermarket owner David Craig believes the secret to good food is keeping it simple.
It's rural, you know, it's Kiwi New Zealand still here, so we're not too inspired by all the foreign fusion cooking and all that fancy stuff. We're down to earth, grassroots, you know, New Zealand.
But the butchers aren't putting down the knives. Both stores are already brainstorming creative new sausage flavours for next year's national competition. Across the South today.
Whai Yakane. Still to come on the South today. An Otago athlete prepares to chase winter and medals at 2 separate world champs. And some of the country's most distinguished artists are putting their work on display in Wanaka.
Massive Labour Weekend sale! Save hundreds on furniture and beds this long weekend. My mate John slashed 20 to 75% off everything. And he's got the lot in stock ready to go at prices that won't be beaten. Get 20 to 75% off Dunedin's biggest range of rock bottom warehouse priced furniture and beds. Plus get 18 months interest free.
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street. And my mate John.
Such a sweet girl. What are you dreaming about?
Just music.
The Power of Dreams by Honda.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. This year's summer break might consist of sun and sand for many New Zealanders, but one Otago athlete is planning to continue chasing winter. Hunter Burke's on his way to not one but 2 World Championships in Europe as he represents Aotearoa in 2 different sports.
Brushing up his skills on the ice ahead of a big sporting season. And while the rest of the country prepares for summer, Otago athlete Hunter Burke is getting ready for a Northern Hemisphere winter. The 20-year-old is set to represent New Zealand at the Curling World B Championships in Finland and is aiming for a strong performance to jump up to the next grade.
We would ideally like to make it back to the A's. That's where we were last year. So it'd be good to get back back there, because that was a that was a real privilege to represent New Zealand at the A's. So it'd be great to get back there again.
But that's not the only sport where Burke will be wearing the silver fern. The keen athlete will also be competing at the Junior Luge World Championships. He travels to Naseby every weekend to practice his curling, but with no artificial luge track in New Zealand, he's been hitting the gym to train for luging.
Just try my best, you know. It's been a long time, so just get out there and just get back into it again, and then hope to look a bit more competitive in the upcoming seasons, but I'll definitely, give it my best this season for sure.
Burke has to balance all his ice training with his studies in civil engineering. His cool summer begins in December, when he's set to take to the curling ice in Finland, followed by the luge track in Norway in February. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A Queenstown charity, which launched an online drive to help it survive, has been given a boost by local schoolchildren. Kiwi Harvest is preparing to move to a cheaper base and was grateful for younger support at a vegetable-themed Mufti Day.
These kids from Shotover Primary School are dressing up as the food they want to save. 13-year-old Kate Scott among the youngsters making an effort to raise funds for Queenstown's Kiwi Harvest. The food charity has been asking for help since last August after cuts to the food rescue sector, which slashed the nationwide budget for those charities from $11 million down to just $1 million. Queenstown branch manager Gary Hugh is grateful to the pupils for raising more than $800 from their food-themed Mufti Day and sausage sizzle.
Knew what a good job we did, and she'd seen the articles in the paper, and she wanted to head up with the ambassadors and raise a fundraiser for us. Which is just amazing that kids at that age would take it on themselves to help out us and the community.
Hughes spent the day showing the students what Kiwi Harvest does for the community, along with unveiling their new electric bike named Ben. He says thanks to the combined effort of the community, the food rescue charity now has enough funds to move and set up in their new location at the undeveloped community hub in Franklin's 5 Mile.
We've got the money we need to relocate the depot, so in such a short time frame to see the money come in from so many different parts of the community is just really heartwarming, and just shows what a great community we live in.
He's now racing to tie a few loose ends so the team can move in before the next large rent payment is due for their current depot in Glenda Drive. But with Kiwi Harvest depot being the last element built at the community hub, their new permanent home could still be at least 3 years away. In Queenstown, The South Today.
Some of the country's most distinguished artists are putting their work on display in Wanaka as part of a popular local art exhibition.
The Lake Wanaka Centre has been transformed into a national art gallery as the Wanaka Art Society hosts its 44th annual Labour Weekend exhibition and art sale. 150 artists from across the country feature in the event, which showcases more than 300 pieces of artwork. All of the pieces on display are available to buy, with a number of artists also providing demonstrations of their craft to visitors. The exhibition had its grand opening on Thursday night with an awards ceremony and is set to run until Saturday evening. In Wanaka, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. Queenstown's old Otorohanga catamaran will soon be charting a course for the Pacific Ocean after almost sinking recently. It's almost 50 years since the Commonwealth Games were held in Christchurch, with a big museum exhibition being planned. And Princes Street Butchery and Fresh Choice Leeston are celebrating top snags. Both won Gold Elite Awards in the Great New Zealand Sausage Competition. And now we'll look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome Associate Editor Mike Houlihan. Hello Mike.
Evening Hannah.
What can we expect in the paper tomorrow?
We've got a riveting read tomorrow on the front page. It's the latest instalment of Mary Williams' incredible series about homelessness in Dunedin. It's a story of a young man called Harry, and he's fallen through the cracks of the system, and the things that have happened to him, honestly you wouldn't believe they happen in your hometown, but it turns out they do, and probably with quite frightening regularity. We've also got the another sad story, the court outcome of a death in Waihola a couple of years ago. Otago. It got played out across the road in the district court today.
Okay.
We have the obituary of Professor Richie Poulton, who died a few weeks ago, the head of the Otago study.
Yes.
In the mix tomorrow, on a lighter note, we've got a large interview with Bill Bailey, the comedian, who's going to be in New Zealand shortly. In our sports section, there's plenty of rugby and cricket, as you'd imagine, but there's also space for golf and football as well.
Fantastic. All right, well, we look forward to reading and thank you for sharing, and have a great long weekend, Mike.
You too, thank you.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, the weather should remain mostly fine through the long weekend, with lighter winds and more sunshine than we've had in recent weeks. Heading to the top of the South Island. There's some light winds about tomorrow, but otherwise it's looking fine, with 20 degrees in Nelson, 19 and clear in Greymouth, and Christchurch is a bit showery with southerlies and a high of 15. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, 15s all around with light southerlies and some showers breaking through the cloud at times in Ashburton, for Timaru and Iwamuru. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. Queenstown's looking good on Saturday with light winds and blue skies with a high of 17. And over in Wanaka and Alexandra, expect a sunny 18 degrees. Heading further south, some cloud and light winds make for a pleasant start to the weekend through here with 15-degree highs in Gore, Balclutha and the Catlins. Across to Invercargill, cloudy tonight as it drops to 8. Tomorrow's fine and sunny with patchy cloud and southwesterlies at times with a nice 14-degree high. Same again on Sunday. And finally heading to Dunedin, cloudy tonight as it drops down to 7. Now tomorrow comes with a mix of sunshine and cloud with southwesterlies and a high of 15 as the day's high. Sunday and Monday bring mostly fine and sunny weather with northeasterlies and again a high of 15 degrees. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand, and you can also follow us on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. And we'll see you again next Tuesday after the long weekend. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.
The South Today Bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.